भाग दौड़ भरी जिंदगी थकना मना है. Hello and welcome. You are listening to the Lama podcast. I'm Gunjan.
I'm Rajiv.
Rajiv, this ad was on a roll around 2006, if I remember correctly. And this ad has somehow instilled in us saying that if there's no grind, if you're not working hard enough, then
We're constantly hustling.
you're constantly hustling. And that has somehow instilled. And I want to peel the onion here and make everyone cry. What are we running after? Where are we running? And where are we going? And where will we reach ultimately?
But why the mindset, right? So yeah, I think I've seen this also over the years in on social media, on regular media also. If you look at the programs like Shark Tank, you look at the um, all these articles and quote unquote success stories about constantly hustling, side hustles, hustling on the job. Essentially, what they mean is what you're saying is that unless you're always, in the grind, you're not living it up,
I
or
just
you're
want
not doing justice to whatever
I want
you're
to
doing.
pause here. When we talk about side hustle, why there is this word hustle there? It
Exactly.
can be
So
it
that's,
can be picked
yeah.
up like this is not side hustle. This is our hobby project.
You see,
And
again. So the difference is that a lot of people, when they talk about side hustle, means that you are doing something on the side with the intent of that you will be able to quit your job and switch over to whatever you're doing on the side, which I think is more of a escapism, that you hate your job and your intent is that you want to have another income stream. So that's the side hustle, right? Then there are things that people attempt, you know in terms of, let's say, whether social media or a new job or something else, uh, but they fail. So so hustling has become a kind of a norm or expectations or peer pressure, you can say. And hobbies, your side passions or everything is being tied to somehow, earning money. So hustling actually has a very, strong undertone of that. Can you earn another, passive income, and all the everything revolves around money. No, otherwise, why would you hustle? No, what's the intent? Why do you want to hustle? If you're fond of reading, it's not hustling. That's your hobby. What we are doing, as you said, yeah, it's just a hobby. So, but the thing is that a lot of people don't uh, s- start with that intent, and that I think is we can talk about that. Why is that mindset, and where it leads to, and what kind of peer pressure it creates amongst everyone.
a little historical context here, Rajiv, and just want to understand that the spike or rise. So, around 1100, people were just living life on daily basis.
Mm.
They'll earn, they'll have a meal, and they'll go ahead. After 1400, it's how we evolve as a human. After 1400, people thought that, okay, if we'll think about future, maybe later we'll be able to have a little free life, like always constantly thinking about future. This is how we have evolved from 1400.
So that's so
And
that is it's so I have a different opinion on that. A
okay,
different opinion on that. So this is a very industrialization, context. People were not, people were living a very, very well balanced life. So when there was work, they would work.
when
When there is no work, whatever. Let's
yeah, when
say,
it is war,
let's
it's
say when
war.
they, no, yes, exactly. If there's
Exactly.
war, they would go and
Even
fight the war, come back and get back to farming or do whatever. If they
yeah,
are full-time soldiers, then they would come back and continue building their strength or practicing and all that. But the main thing is that earlier there was before industrialization happened. In my view, there was no clear boundary between work and life. There are stories, or actually, whether true or false, I don't know. These are things that we read, and then we, whether they are recorded. Now whether they're history versus whatever it is. But people who were as by profession like bakers or something else also knew how to perform surgery. So when there was a need, they would go and perform surgery and then come back and keep baking. So profession versus, a quote unquote side hustle or whatever, it was there all along. The only thing is, uh, I think that people would take it in a much more balanced view than what has happened after the post-industrialization, because now there was a routine set 9 to 5 job, 8 to 6 or whatever, there were like strict timings. So there was structure to your work, and that necessitated some structure to your life. And I think that's where but over the last, I think, decade or so, I'm seeing that hustle has become a very in thing.
2 decades or so, because see, again, it's a cycle. There's this recession. People lose their jobs, the kind of insecurity they have. Then they have the survivor guilt that even if they are there, their peer has lost a job. All these things somehow force them to think that
Yes.
if not this, then what? And when I was moving out of my previous firm, it was a big risk. And my manager told me that, Gunjan, at least you have some hobby. You do so much beyond work. I don't think so. If ever I get fired from this company, I don't know what I'm going to do, which was sad. I was
Yeah,
like, I
I talk about
never,
that in my book, Rise. That exactly that, most of the people keep hustling or working because they don't know what to do with their life. So there was there's a very interesting incident. A while ago, I was, talking to some friends of mine, and one of them, he talked about another, acquaintance who claimed that he has already made all his money, like he did IPO or whatever, has $100 million or something. So he doesn't need to work, or he doesn't need to earn, right? Just one child, and the child wants to do whatever he or she, I don't know the gender, but wants to do with life. And but this guy, even after that, he landed another job. So I asked them, in my the friends, that I said, but why is he earning? You know, and the response was, oh, because he's working. So I said, but he doesn't need to earn. He can say, I have enough. Like Steve Jobs said that I'll take just $1 as a salary, as a token amount, and donate everything else. But the thing is that the hustle culture is, in my view, a mindset of always chasing something because you don't know how to sit still and be alone with yourself.
there's a lot of societal pressure as well, Raji. This
Why?
is, this is,
So no, if you so let's say if you already have earned enough to retire, right? Then what is the society? Who gives a F about society?
see, it's always in your head. Nobody says anything. It's always in your head. And the horrible part, worst part is that work has become synonym to your worth. If you're not
Yes.
doing anything,
Yeah.
you're
Exactly.
absolutely worthless, is the
That's what you
message that
think.
is.
Yes.
And nobody
So many
says that, but
people.
it's,
Why do? That is why a lot of people who, after retirement, they go into depression.
If they are not with any, if they do not have any work.
A lot
If they
of
are,
people. Lot of
I
people.
know. 60 is too early to retire. If you ask me, 60 is too early to retire. My dad and my father-in-law, both of them took retirement. They got retired in 2012. Since then, they are working like anything. The way they work, even I cannot work. I think every generation it's getting depreciated. My father does a lot of hard work. My father-in-law does a lot of hard work. And after retirement, I see that they are more busy. They have more plans. They plan their holidays as well. But my dad has not taken a single off since 2012.
Yeah, but they may be working
And he
on their
enjoys.
hobbies or whatever the
Yes,
passion. Yes. So now you're spending time on your passion. So you're not earning. You may not. My question is not around, working. You will be busy till you die. Even if you're busy watching TV, you're still busy. Okay. So it's not that, you will not be busy because we as human beings, we are not taught to be still. And this is where the hustle mentality comes in that, you're always hustling because somehow that is equated to results, achievement, milestones or sense of self-worth, which I think is stupidity. I think we are making machines out of ourselves. The more we do this, the lesser human we are.
I want to share one story here. I was talking to a friend, and one of his friend lost his job. And just to check on him, he asked, "So what are you doing?" He was just about to go work for his daily stand-up. He said, "I just prepared a breakfast for myself, and after that, I'll take a nap." My friend was like, "I was feeling jealous." It is such a luxury that after breakfast, after a
You
nice
take a
healthy
nap.
breakfast, you
Yeah.
are getting into bed and
Take a
sleeping,
nap.
especially winter time when it's snowing or it's raining
Yeah.
or
Whatever. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you just saw the weather and you want to slide in for another
Take a
10
nap.
minutes,
Yeah.
another 1 hour.
Yeah.
It's like I
That's
was
right.
feeling jealous. I was like, this person got fired. I'm the one who's feeling jealous. So yeah, we don't value much what we have in sense of time, in sense of luxury. We don't value much.
But the thing is that the value is only, you know, recognized if we have lost it.
Yes.
The person who was fired, you know, he or she maybe after a week or 2 weeks will start getting pangs about getting a job. I've been through, these cycles multiple times. I've seen, my own friends and, peer circle going through this multiple times. So yes, for our first few days, it looks like luxury and all that. But then the economic reality hits and say, oh, who is going to pay my mortgage? Who's going to pay my bills? And all, unless you have made your money. But in spite of that, I have seen people like I was giving the example of that they would want to get back into the hustle because, like you were saying, they feel worthless. So, even people who kind of made their millions. I've seen examples where after losing a job or quote unquote retiring, they feel worthless. They get back into hustling. They want to become a VC. They want to become, get back into the hustle and bustle because they think that if they sit at home and not do anything or just, you know, fade into background of life, they are worthless. Everybody wants to end their life on a high note. And that's where I think the problem, that's where the hustle culture is that, there was one person I was, talking to over dinner and, some time ago at a friend's place. And this guy, I think was in 80s. And, he was hustling. Like hustling means that he was more busy, than any of us in the room. And he was, and I asked him that why, and he was not he was also not well. I could see, and he was complaining about, the whatever the, pains and this and that. I said, then, why are you hustling? I asked him that, okay, he said, oh, I want to leave a legacy. I said, but after 10 days, who's going to remember your legacy? The moment you're gone, there'll be 10 people who would want to take your space, and you will be a picture hanging on the wall, which will be, displaced by another picture maybe after a year. What legacy are you talking about? But he was, for him, that was a drive. For him, it was even at that age that, not having time for the family or grandkids or anything was fine because, he wanted to hustle. And I actually pitied that person. I said, I wish that I don't end up like that. But this is where I think this is you have to fight against social norms, you have to fight against the peer pressure. It is difficult, but needs to be done.
Rajiv, what impression are we leaving on Gen Z, or how are we preparing our kids for this? Reason I say this, our parents have always hustled. We are conscious about it. We try to stand up for ourselves. But when we see this young people coming in and 12:30 is the lunchtime, it is the lunchtime. There's no way they'll schedule any call. There's no way they'll take anything which comes like, okay, they see the calendar, which they usually block their calendars. Uh, I have a friend who's a surgeon. Even if surgery is going on, this kid will say, it's my lunchtime. I'll come later. It's scary.
I can
But
tell
if
you
you,
that, I can tell you one thing, that this surgeon will not be employed for very long and will not be the best surgeon.
maybe,
So
maybe
I
it's
have a
not
very,
that,
very, I have
it's
a
more
very different
about
opinion
sense of
about,
responsibility than being a
no, no,
timetable.
it is, if a surgeon takes a lunch break during surgery, I personally think that person did not want to be the doctor. He has no passion about being a doctor. If you hate your job, then you would look at your clock and say it's my lunchtime. That's a very big signal for me to never hire a person like that. See, we talked about this economic slavery and this thing, right? This is a sure sign of that person is an economic slave. He is not doing what he wants to do in life, and he will be miserable and he will make everybody else miserable. He will not be able to perform better surgeries. He will be, I would say, a very mediocre surgeon.
There's no room for mediocrity in those
At least in
areas.
my view.
Yeah,
No,
I
there is.
mean,
That is, there's room for mediocrity in every profession. That is why you see, surgeries going bad. That is why you see, people forgetting, like literally towels or scissors inside the patients.
that can be because of
That
burnout, Rajiv. That
no,
can be
so
because of
no, it is
burnout.
not. No, we cannot. I will not justify that. That is incompetence. That is not, burnout. If you're burnout, take a month vacation, get yourself in line and come back. If you're totally burnt out, quit, go read books, do something else. You don't need to perform surgeries all your life. So this is where I think the Gen Z is going to be the biggest screw up generation that we will see in our lifetime, because they are, biding their life against the clock. There, 20 people will say, oh, it's my lunchtime, oh, it's my coffee break, it's my this, I cannot work, I cannot take meetings. There'll be two people who will say, I love this job. I don't care. I will eat when I'm going to die with hunger. But bring it on. Those are the changers. Those are the people who are the movers and shakers, not the people who are living their life, with the clock.
Just just this week should go, or just this holiday time should come. So yes,
Yeah,
people are just clocking in, clocking out, and then
yeah. They are machines, and that's why they will
yes,
be replaced by machines. Better machines like AI, better robots. If you want, you see, if you want to compete with machines, trust me, they will be better machine than you. If you want to compete as a human being, there will be no other human being like you. So make up your mind. And I think that's where the Gen Z or Gen X or whatever, different generations we talk about, they are screwed up in their mind, and we are encouraging it, which is pathetic.
we are encouraging it in the name of well-being.
See, what is well-being? Being miserable is well-being. Being fat, eating all processed food is well-being. So no, so this is where I think
This is where they are hiding
the
that this
mindset
is
and
impacting
everything.
my, yes, this is where they're hiding that this is impacting my well-being.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
this
I'm
is
too
not good for.
sensitive. It's like I shared a meme once that the current generation is like I'm afraid to make fun of myself because somebody else feeling may get hurt. So, and we will talk about this, the death of humor
Yes,
someday. But the thing is that the hustle culture is only meant for people who are not passionate about what they do, who are living life with by the clock, and who think that motion is progress. And I think I wrote this maybe in my the first book, that motion is not progress. So be very clear in your mind that hustling is good if you know the aim of your hustling. Why are you hustling? I know that uh, I was very bad in soft skills 20-25 years ago, and that brought me onto a journey where I had to push myself into beyond the comfort zone for networking, for presentations. And there I was always hustling for an opportunity that would push me out of that comfort zone.
that's more of a drive than hustle.
It's the same
You
thing,
mean
drive, yeah, hustling is also drive. The only thing is that the word hustle or hustling has become, you
very
know,
negative
co- uh,
connotation. Yeah.
yes, a different connotation than, drive, but it's the same thing.
But Rajiv, I want to understand how this pervasive mindset has shaped different generations, like hustling, staying calm, and looking at work-life balance. Every now and then there is a new theory which comes up.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Social
Focus on your
experiments keep happening, yes. And this is where, when we were growing up, there was a different mindset about, studies, work, and all that. I remember that when we were growing up, or when even in my early, days of my career, we never asked, do I have the skills to do this or not? At least I know for me and many of my friends and all that. We would say, okay, this needs to be done, we'll figure it out. But I remember when this was in the year maybe around 2006, 7 timeframe. I was hiring somebody, when I was at Intel, and we were hiring a developer. And so this guy shows up at an interview and he said, I only want to program in C, C++. I said, okay, then this place is not for you. Because today we may have work on that, but tomorrow it may be technologies change like every 6 months. I said, okay, thank you very much. And he didn't understand what I was saying. He said, no, I'm passionate about C, C++. I said, okay, I'm also passionate about so many things, but the work may or may not require that. So if you are so adamant that you only want to work in C, C++, then I would recommend you find another company or another job. This job is not right for you.
Raji, somehow I feel that this is very robotic approach.
Hmm.
I can do this because I'm programmed to do this. And unless until someone
Self-programming.
else, unless until someone else invest on me, I'll be on this journey. And I don't know if it's a good thing, bad thing. We are talking about hustle culture. We are talking about the mindset, the whole mindset that if you're not having enough of grind, then you're not doing good enough. And this is
Yeah.
life. This is not chopped kitchen that if you'll not do it, your dish will be chopped.
It's not a reality show.
It's not a
That is
reality show.
that is scripted to the hill. Yeah.
Oh, Rajiv, I want to wrap the show with your couplet. I vaguely remember it. I don't remember it correctly, but it goes something like हैरान हूं मैं रुखे आईना देख के कौन जिया है मेरी ये जिंदगी. I think I mixed up two, but can you please
Yeah.
read the original
You mixed
version?
up two different couplets. I think
Guessed
the one
as
that you
much.
want to say is that जो जूझा रहा कश्मकश जिंदगी में मैं तो कौन जिया है फिर ये जिंदगी मेरी.
Very well summarized in this hustle culture uh, life. Thank you so much for listening. Do visit our website, thelielama.com, THELLIAMA.com. Leave a comment. Let us know if you would like to come on our show. We'll be more than happy to host you.